Hey folks, welcome back to another PoMa video. So today we have the rerun of last year's summer units, right? Both Summer Steven and Summer Lyra, right? Same with Sandslash, Alolan Sandslash, and Lyra with Jigglypuff. So these two are coming on the same banner, so it's a dual, featured banner. So we should assume the rates are probably going to be 1.5% each with a 3% total. And before we even just look back at these units, I've got to say both of them fell off quite a bit. They're just getting power crept a lot, right? Maybe Steven not that much, but definitely Jigglypuff, right? Back then, obviously Jigglypuff was the best fairy type damage dealer in the game. Also, the only other fairy type unit in the game outside of the like Sylveon, Gramble, or whatever, right? But at the time, Jigglypuff's numbers were quite impressive, right, in terms of damage dealers. But now, honestly, those numbers are kind of not very good, and Jigglypuff really doesn't have that much else to make up for it, right? So let's first talk about Jigglypuff while we're here, right? So the upsides of Jigglypuff are really not that much, unfortunately. And then there are way too many downsides. The first big upside is, or honestly, the really big upside is that it plays around sleep. And if you're running Jigglypuff with Serena, it's not because Jigglypuff is that great, just because Serena's that great, right? Because all of Jigglypuff's multipliers are sleep based. At least the good ones. Rude Awakening 5 over here, Good Nightmare 5, all that stuff. You want the opponent to be asleep, and obviously with that you want to pair it up with either Serena or a sleep unit, which makes the team a pretty powerful team because that, right? Also, it does have good physical attack stat, and a good HP stat. But outside of that, Jigglypuff really does not have that many great things going for it at all. First of all, speed is not good at all, right? Very, very bad speed. The training move is not very good, right? Unfortunately, it's 2 move gauges and +1 attacks, +1 special attack. When you're asleep, you get more, but that's straight up not happening, right? You heal when you're asleep. Again, this is just not happening. You're not asleep ever. You're never going to be asleep, right? And yeah, outside of that, your main damaging move, Play Rough, is physical, but then your sync move is special. So the support, because again, you're not gonna support yourself with just your training move. The support you're gonna run is going to be tricky, right? You need something like a Alolan Marowak or something to give you both physical or probably in this case Donberry might be a bit better, right? Also give you some special defense debuffs maybe, right? Actually, Alolan Marowak might be a bit better just because of the team speed issue with Serena, right? Right. You do have Mad Strength and Mind Swallow to help make up for it a bit, right? Clock Out could put the opponent to sleep on your sync, and the interesting thing would be if the EX puts your whole team to sleep, right? Because EX obviously hits all units. We'll see if it does or not, right? And yeah, those are that stuff, right? In terms of the grid, it's a solid grid, I guess, right? You do have 2 solid multipliers over here, right? And then you got 2 move gauge refresh 3s with Play Rough, which is nice. Play Rough on a roll if you want that. Fast Track maybe help the speed issue a bit, but yeah, it's just a lot of work for not that much coming back, unfortunately, in terms of damage from you, right? Or from Jigglypuff. So it's rough. Yeah. She just doesn't have enough, right? Play Rough's BP is not very high. And you only have a 50% multiplier. It is 50%, but that's it, sadly. And again, it's not like you're doing that much damage. If you compare all the other fairy type strikers at the moment, right? Let's just take away the roll. Grimmsnarl's better. Easily better, right? Gardevoir's easily better. Whimsicott's easily better. Right? That's all three. Like, Jigglypuff is probably just the weakest out of all of them. Yeah. And with all the other ones, well, maybe not Gardevoir, but like, also obviously Whimsicott and Grimmsnarl also give you some other stuff, right? That are really nice as well. Right? Whimsicott with the team speed buff, whatever. Paralysis, the debuffs, Grimmsnarl, the debuffs, the tanking capabilities. And with Jigglypuff, it's just damage, and your damage is not, you know, again, not anything crazy. It's, yeah. Unless you really just like this Lyra, this summer Lyra, which, fantastic outfit. I love the outfit. I mean, I'm gonna EX mine. I really like her EX. But like, as a unit right now, it's really hard to compare with a lot of like the new ones. If you want a fairy type damage dealer, go summon on Summer Marnie right now, right? Go summon on Marnie instead. She's just straight up better, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for Marnie, unfortunately for Jigglypuff over here. But yeah, not a good spot right now. So now let's talk about Steven. Steven also not in a good spot, but he is saved by the fact that he is the best hail user in the whole game. Although the competition is not, you know, anything impressive. But he is definitely the best hail user in the game, and obviously, I do think he is much better than it, or at least a much better spot where than where Jigglypuff is, right? But he also has issues. He also definitely has issues, right? So the upside is he has hail, he has hasty hail, which is nice, right? Healing hail if you need that, all that stuff. You have extra 30% sync nuke. Over here with Double Down, you have extra 50% on Flinch Hitter, Freezer Burn, and then got Harry 2 on Ice School Crash, Free Synergy 3, right? So when you look at it, it's like, wow, lots of multipliers, has Hail on Sync, this should be good, right? Unfortunately, again, outside of the fact that he does Hail, it's gonna be very hard for me to say that he is anything crazy either, right? Because same thing with as with Lyra, is back then obviously the damage was incredible, right, with Ice Steven, but now like units completely, you know, like he's left in the dust. Like his damage output, right, in comparison to all some of the other units, right? Like even Ice type itself, right? Even Ice type itself, Crabominable, much powerful, more powerful damage healer, right? Kurama is also capable. Okay, you're better than Dugong, but yeah, like, and even if you look at that, right? Like, okay, even if you think the damage, like, it's not that bad, which it's true, it's not like that bad, but if you look at the multipliers, Harry 2 and Free Synergy 3, these are the two multipliers for Ice School Crash. Both of them, not easy multipliers to get. Not easy multipliers to get. And the more frustrating part is, like, okay, so like you have Harry, which you need to flinch the opponent, which again is only temporary. Same thing with Free Synergy. Free's even lower chance to happen than flinch, right? And also very temporary. Like, you have these, like, if you're gonna give it to them, why not? Like, it's Harry 2 and Free Synergy 3. It's 20% and 30%. Like, why not give it like a Harry 5 or something? At least make it worth it, right? For such a hard multiplier to maintain an uptime for, right? At least make it worth it. It's just not very worth it, unfortunately. And if you look at the sync nuke multipliers, Freezer Burn 5, Flinch Hitter 5, same thing. Flinch and Freeze, these are both, these are not easy to get. Neither of these are easy to get, right? Like, his multipliers just are very unfortunate. Very, very hard to get. And honestly, a lot of times not very worth it running. If you look at like some, you know, the other, Lose Mean, also another ice type damage dealer, right? If you look at like all these ice type damage dealers, they don't, like, you just don't work super well with them, right? This one, Kyurem doesn't freeze, doesn't flinch, doesn't freeze. Crabominable, right? Another one doesn't flinch, doesn't freeze, and plus super slow. All right, Duong does freeze with Ice Beam. So yeah, you just have to like, okay, Kyurem does freeze with Cold Snap, but like, it's just very, very hard to run Sandslash with all. But also Kyurem, you don't want to run Hail with Kyurem. That's the other thing with Kyurem, right? And obviously with Sandslash, your main thing is Hail, right? So bad multipliers, right? Damage with the multipliers are good, without not very good, right? And again, the multipliers are very, very key here. And even with the multipliers, it's not anything. It's not next level, right? Again, you're not getting to Crabominable levels of damage, unfortunately, right? The only, like, the big saving grace for Steven here is the Infinite Hail, which is, again, good, right? But then again, like, if you look at, like, the units that benefit from Hail at the moment, like, the big one is Crabominable. And the other thing with Crabominable is, like, you want to sync with them as well. So you have a bit of a, you know, tense, you know, like, who are you going to sync with, right? So there's also that issue as well with them, right? Hail, Dugong's the other user of Hail. Lose Mean, technically you could use Hail so your Blizzard doesn't miss, but it doesn't, you know, add any multipliers onto it. But yeah, obviously, you know, if you just need someone to like clear an Ice Week Master Mode stage, Steven is more than enough, right? But just looking at, you know, Steven and where some units are nowadays, he's just not up to par, unfortunately, it seems like, right? So again, still good. The Hail thing is still very, very nice, but outside of that, his damage dealing capabilities unfortunately are very, very much behind, right? It's kind of showing his age a bit. And yeah, again, Jigglypuff we talked about before. Like the two new summer units, Marnie and Gloria, are both, they're just straight up much better units overall. They're just much better units, right? From, you know, multitude of reasons. Like, okay, maybe you can argue like Ice Steven and like Gloria, but like overall, like Gloria does like what, twice his damage, right? And you don't need all these weird multipliers, you know, clunky multipliers with Gloria either, right? So yeah, unless you really need a Hail setter, Ice type damage dealer, then you can maybe try for this banner. But if not, I would probably stay away from this banner, right? Again, anniversary is coming up. You have much better summer units right now, right? Which is not, well, which is not a bad banner to spend on in terms of, you know, gems. The current, the 2021 summer units. Well, the 2020 summer units are definitely not. I would say definitely not something you probably want to spend gems on this close to anniversary, right? But yeah, unless you're like a huge fan of Steven Lyra and their seasonal outfits, or if you're a whale and you just want to collect, then sure, go for it. But outside of that, yeah, not things I would spend too many gems on, right? So anyways, that's me with this one. I guess hope you guys are normally guys in the comments down below. Let me know if you guys are summoning or not, right? Yeah, I'm probably gonna be EXing both, so cause I like both. You know, Steven, I love Steven, right? The Lyra outfit's really nice as well, so I'll be EXing them. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you guys subscribe so you get the EX Steven EX Lyra video. And yeah, have fun, folks. Good luck if you guys are summoning, and I'll see you guys in the next one.